bullshit.
The No Bullshit Marketing Show. I'm Dave Mastovich. This episode is about recapping 2024, which was a monumental year for Mass Solutions, and to give you my insights of what to expect in 2025 from a marketing, storytelling, business growth standpoint. So let's dig in. 2024 was an amazing year for Mass Solutions as we celebrated our 20th anniversary as a company. Now, like any story, there's all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. Mass Solutions formed without even having that name while I was at UPMC in a chief marketing officer role at UPMC Health System, and then while I was leading a turnaround from a marketing, storytelling, and a growth standpoint at Duquesne University. Then I decided that we had grown and had to really name this thing and make sure it was more formalized and go full time with it. And that happened in 2004. So during 2024, it just was almost wow to think that it was 20 years. In fact, over the holidays, multiple family members said, I just can't believe it's been 20 years. And it flies by. All kinds of exciting things happen as the company has grown and gone through the ebbs and flow of the lifestyle of a business and life cycle of a business. You have these points where you grow dramatically, then you kind of hit a wall and you level off. Then you grow again and you hit a wall. Then you decline and wonder what's going on. Then you change. And I joke that we're almost on, they used to say version 2.0. We're on Mass Solutions version 7.0. And it's gone through so many iterations. But the biggest thing about it is we've had the chance to work with hundreds, if not probably over 1,000 different companies in the span of the 20 years. And at all those companies, we got to meet and learn from, influence, help people at those companies. And at Mass Solutions, we've had so many fantastic, loyal team members, many of which have been there the whole time. We've had a number of key team members that have been with Mass Solutions since the beginning, others that have been with the company 10, 15, 17 years. And then we have new, fresh ideas coming in all the time. So during 2020, we thought, how can we truly celebrate Mass Solutions? How can we celebrate the 20th anniversary? And what we did was throughout the year, recognize team members, talk to team members that are still a part of Mass Solutions, talk to ones that we stay in touch with, but have moved on to other things, but we remain close with. And then even reached out to people that we hadn't talked to for a while, that were here in the early years, and sometimes you don't stay in touch with as much as you'd like to. And then we decided to reach out to clients and talk to them. And we did. We asked clients to give us their feedback on what they thought was unique about Mass Solutions, what's one thing that makes it special, and what they would change about Mass Solutions. And we heard so many amazing stories. And then we decided to have a 20th anniversary celebration with our key leadership team and some family and key stakeholders, key strategic partners. We decided to try to do something unique, and we ended up being the first event ever on the golf course at Nevillewood Country Club. And Nevillewood Country Club here in Pittsburgh is a well-known place. It's a Nicholas-designed course. Back in the UPMC days, we used to have the Mario Lemieux Invitational here, and people like Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky and of course Mario, and then John Elway, all kinds of people. Charles Barkley would come to this place, and it's a very well-known, beautiful place. And they had never had anything on the golf course. And we decided to get creative and talk to some of the key leaders there at Nevillewood. And we ended up having, on the 18th tee box, we set up for our group of about 22 people. And we had the event started at Nevillewood with a cocktail hour where we had all kinds of interaction and fun stuff. And one of our clients that has a distillery created No Bullshit Tequila, knowing that I'm a former DJ who loves storytelling and tequila, as my LinkedIn profile says. So we had that, and we had the big ice sculpture, all this stuff. And then they had these large golf carts that could fit 6 people, and they rode us out in groups out to get some pictures taken on the course. And then we had an amazing time together as a team. I was able to talk, and I talked about each team member, how they started at Mass Solutions, what the story was. So we did it in sequential order. And you guys know me as a little bit of a detail guy, and I had it timed out that when we got there to begin the talk, they started serving everybody. It was still sunlight, and I wanted at the end for it to be dark. And so after I got through each of the 21 people that I talked about, we had the ending toast, and it had gone through dark, sunlight, dusk, dark, and just had a great night after that. Recognized everybody as a key member of the team. Enjoyed the 20th anniversary celebration officially that night, but throughout the entire year, we expressed gratitude towards clients, the team, and strategic partners. So that's a big part that made 2024 amazing or unbelievable. Then a second part was I personally was able to have my book, No Bullshit Marketing, come out in September. And it made #1 Amazon bestseller status. Did not expect that. Hoped we'd make a bestseller list, and ended up making #1 Amazon bestseller status. And also reached out to a lot of friends, family, clients, followers, subscribers, and mentioned that the book was coming out, and humbly asked if they could read it, buy it, get a review. We are now up to 65 reviews and counting, growing as we speak, and all of them are 5 stars. I've had some people say to me, you should tell someone to give it a 4-star just because it makes it more authentic. And I said, well, that would be inauthentic. If right now they're all 5 stars, they're all 5 stars. So great. We have a number of reviews, 65 5-star reviews. The book has been just amazingly received. I'm excited about speaking engagements expanding immediately, almost a couple of days after it hit, people reaching out to get speaking engagements, and being guests on more podcasts, being asked to talk to key leaders and then end up landing clients, and being recognized as a thought leader more and more. So the second book, No Bullshit Marketing, reached #1 Amazon bestseller status. It has 65 5-star reviews and counting. It's led to increased speaking engagements. It's led to increased requests to be on podcasts. It's led to increased leads and new clients. And then on a personal level, also received recognition as one of Pittsburgh's top smart leaders by Smart Business Magazine. Got to be on the cover with the other awardees, and just a great event, and to be, again, humbled to be recognized with that group of people, and just to spend that couple of hours at the awards banquet as a smart business leader, Pittsburgh smart business leader from the Smart Business Magazine. Appreciated that recognition. Now, on the team side, we've had a lot of operational growth. We have focused on process improvements and a clearer mapping out of all of our intellectual property. We've had all this IP over the years. We wanted to make sure that we mapped that out more, wanted to make sure that we talked about it more, and people knew that they were getting something that was done through decades of intellectual property. The Mass team also took it upon themselves to continually build ways to move more quickly for clients and to get results more quickly and to streamline our processes operationally. And what it has done is we now are able to transform a company in 16 weeks. And we've taken that and fine-tuned that. And the first 8 weeks are when we do your voice of the customer insight gathering. And that voice of the customer means your employees, your leadership team, your individual contributors. That means your board, other stakeholders, strategic partners. It means your referral sources. It means current clients and possibly potential clients. And during that first 8 weeks, we diagnose and analyze your right fit target markets, looking at your current sales data and saying, here's where you are, and here's maybe where you should be from a right fit target audience standpoint. We also then build your big idea, your why or reason for being, and your customer's why or reason for buying. We turn that into your tagline, your slogan, your overarching theme to drive all of your internal and external messaging. And then we build supporting storytelling pillars. That's done in 8 weeks, streamlined around our IP to get you the insights that you need and get us the insights that we need to then build that marketing plan, a growth marketing plan that outlines your right fit target markets, tells you what everybody thinks and perceives, analyzes your top competitors, but then creates your big idea story and your supporting storytelling pillars. And that's all done in 8 weeks. And while we're doing that, we're already beginning to start the next 8 weeks phase, which is to build content for you. So you have about 80% of the content you need throughout for the next year, because it's all built around your big idea and your storytelling pillars. And that includes video, that includes blogs, that includes social media, that includes email drip campaigns. It includes content throughout the next year. So if we're working with a smaller mid-sized company that has some nervousness because they don't have a full, huge marketing team and they have a bunch of people wearing multiple hats, they know that they have this plan built by systematically gathering insights, market research, right fit target market analysis, all this growth marketing plan with specific solutions and ideas. And then the big idea storytelling, the overarching theme, and the key supporting storytelling pillars. But then they also know they have all kinds of content that can already be mapped out on their content calendar to drive brand and leads. So it's increasing brand awareness and increasing leads and ultimately more sales. That's all been able to be condensed into 16 weeks, which when you think about it, to do all of that, that's transforming how a company talks, how a company presents itself, how a company has its sales messaging, how the company's brand is. All of that is done in that short time frame. So when I talk about 2024 being monumental, that team and operational growth has been just amazing to see. And when I step back, I want to thank the entire Mass Solutions team for that, because they've all been diligent about it, they've all been focused, and the results have been fantastic. So that is the major piece of the 2024 recap. But the one last part is the clients that we continue to work with have believed in us and trusted us, and we become true partners. And during 2024, we added a number of new clients that also have that same excitement, that same trust. And without clients, why would we exist? So the fact that those clients have stayed with us for so long and the new ones came on is also a big part of our 2024 recap here at Mass Solutions. But looking ahead to 2025, it wouldn't be right if I didn't pull this book out. Chapter 17 in this book talks about what's ahead. And I want to talk about that now for what's ahead in 2025 from a growth marketing, storytelling, and right fit target market standpoint, and from a marketing operations standpoint for us and our clients. So in this chapter 17 of the book, when we look ahead, the first topic that in the book I say I hesitate to even mention in a book because it is changing so fast is AI. Now, what AI is going to do and has already done is enhancing human creativity, not necessarily replacing human output and productivity. What I mean by that is throughout the history of time, when we've had major technological advancements, there's been a fear that it was going to cost jobs and make people not needed. But if you really look back throughout history, each time there's an initial fear, but then we change and it doesn't replace human work and human input. What it does is it enhances human creativity and human productivity. And the AI that we have now is going to do the same thing, and already is. So once we take a step back and realize that, it's enabling us to do more of what we can do. And there's an old management and leadership credo that says, only do what only you can do. And I wish I could subscribe to that 95% of the time. I hope I get to about 80% of the time, but sometimes, like all humans, we end up doing things we shouldn't be doing. But only do what only you can do. And that's the key thing about AI. It enables us to only do what only we can do. So there are things that it can take care of that help each Mass Solutions team member and free them up to do their unique ability. There's things that it can do to help free me up to do my unique ability. There's things it can do to help all of our clients be freed up to do their unique ability. So AI is about helping with human productivity and human creativity, not replacing humans. And so in the book, I break down what I'll talk about briefly here today is that with AI, it's about enabling you to focus on what you can do and getting you 80% there much more quickly. So the example I give is in any endeavor, if you take your AI that you're using, whether it's Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, Jasper, all kinds of other ones, if you build the primer on you and you talk about what your mindset is, what you do, what your unique ability is, how you think, how you write, how you speak. If you take an hour or two to build that and then over time keep reminding and supplementing that, that AI can now understand you. And when you request something, it can work towards maximizing that. And it's not just about when you request something from a written standpoint or when you request something from a asking a question standpoint. It's anything you want AI to do for you. You're able to have that primed. So now you have that already primed. Then whenever you have a request, you have to provide as much insight as you can. It's not just like type in one sentence and say, go do this, because then it's going to get you that first draft. And the first draft of AI is typically marginal. It's what you do when you ask a second time and a third time. That's when you start to see the real improvement. So the first thing that it sends you is what most people stop at. But if you talk to it and communicate and say, I like this and this and this, but this is off, that's off, and also add this, the second edit and the third edit will be that much stronger. So how you prime it is the first thing. Then once you primed it and talked to it, you get to 80%. Then you do the final part yourself. Remember, I talk a lot about the 80-20 principle. In fact, it's in the book, the 80-20 principle of how 20% of our actions produce 80% of our results. So we want to get to 80% quickly and not focus so much of trying to get from 80 to 100. Get to 80% quickly, and then let your unique ability get you to 90-95%. So with AI, that's the key, is priming your AI that you chose. Once you prime it and ask the question, follow up and ask more to get a second and third version, then you're at 80%, and then you bring your unique ability, your personality, your specifics to it, so it is human produced to get that last 20%. That's how AI can help all of us, and that's what we're going to see more of in 2025. Another major thing from a marketing, growth marketing, storytelling, and a business growth standpoint is B2E Marketing. The talent magnet piece is going to continue to become more and more significant. And the people that will stand out and that will win in the competitive space will be those who understand that B2E, business to employee marketing, is essential. You have to accept that and live that when you're talking about retention of employees, your cultural messaging is critical. How you go about having a systematic way to tell your story, that big idea that we create, and those supporting storytelling pillars, and your cultural behaviors that you expect, not just cultural values, cultural behaviors that you expect, those have to be infused into all of your internal communication. It has to be said again and again and again. So what is B2E really all about? It's about thinking about current and prospective employees the same way that you think about current and prospective clients or customers. That's the essence of B2E. It's a mind shift, a mindset shift. So you think of current and prospective employees the same way you think about current and prospective customers. So every company's thinking about, how do I get more sales? How do I keep my customers happy? What do I say in this? What do I say in that to close the business? That's the same mindset you have to have about current and potential employees. That's what B2E means. Business to employee marketing means that. And that's what's going to continue to be what drives the winners in the competitive space in 2025. It's with your retention of employees, the messaging around that, around your core values and your core behaviors. What behaviors do you expect? And around your big idea and your pillars. Telling that again and again to current employees. But then also infusing that same language when you're targeting potential employees, because it'd be better if they knew what the core values and core behaviors really are, so that you get a better fit. You don't get someone just taking the job because they want a job. You want people to clearly know what your core values are, your core behaviors are, what makes the company stand out, what your big idea is, what your storytelling pillars are. You want them to know that, because then they'll self-select. They'll opt out if they don't match up to those core values and their core behaviors. That's what B2E marketing is all about. And that is critical for companies to live with and to focus on and to live and breathe. I shouldn't say live with, to live and breathe and to do that B2E marketing. The third item that I mentioned in chapter 17 about into the future is social media discipline. And it's the importance of focused usage to maintain productivity and effectiveness. And this is where I know it's really difficult and really hard for people and takes so much discipline, but you have to have a way to have focused time for work. So you have to have a way that you set aside when you're going to be distracted, because I understand, I'm not naive. We're all going to go look at our phones. We're going to look at our social media feeds. We're going to look at our texts and our emails, but we have to find a way to have social media disciplines and have focused usage so you can maintain productivity and effectiveness. The peak performers in the world are doing this, and they're doing it in different ways because we're all wired differently. Some people are batching it. Some people are staying away for 15, 20 minutes and then immersing it. Others are finding other methods to do it. That's where that social media discipline is significant, and where whoever is starting to focus on that more and more will become more and more of a peak performer. So the third into the future recommendation idea is tied around social media discipline. And then the fourth one is generational wisdom. Generational wisdom. We're having 3, 4, 5, 6 generations in different workplaces. And we have to understand that the stereotypes around boomers, OK Boomer, and Gen Xers, and millennials, and Gen Z, those stereotypes, they were created because of marketing. And there's some truth to them, but they're just that. They're a lump sum thing saying, in general, a Gen Xer does A, B, C, and D. But we have to step back and know that there still is an individuality in each generation, and each generation is able to bring their strengths if we communicate to each other in a way that maximizes the energizing of a person versus what drains them. That's why I tie a lot of things back to predictive index. When you know your predictive index and your coworker's predictive index, you know what energizes you and what drains you. But you also know what energizes and drains those around you. You're not going to be perfect. You're not even going to probably do it 80% of the time, but at least if you're cognizant of it, it can help you be more forgiving of what bothers you about someone else, and it can help you avoid doing things that drain others. So the generational wisdom is a huge thing for 2025. And the last one I'm going to touch on is referral source marketing. And referral source marketing is about talking to people who can connect you with potential business. And I talk about in the book about how in healthcare, it's obvious that you have referral source gatekeepers. They're people that can unlock referral source opportunities. And so it's obvious in healthcare that a primary care doctor can refer to this doctor, and this type of doctor can refer to that doctor, and a case manager at a healthcare system can refer to home healthcare and hospice. That's obvious in healthcare. It's less obvious outside of healthcare because it's used by other terms like centers of influence and things of that nature. So in professional services, we have centers of influence who are referral sources. And we have to have a systematic approach to referrals. And so we have to look at referral sources, whether we want to call them centers of influence or referral sources. And we have to look at them. We have to do the same type of rigor that we do around clients. We all know that, well, this is our type of client that does this, and this is the type of client that buys that. We at Mass want you to have way more science around that and have your target markets be right fit target markets that have some variables around them so you can slice them into smaller, more valuable, more relatable, more easy to communicate with markets. We want you to do the same thing for referral sources. And we want you to do the same thing for employees. That's why 2 of the 5 things I mentioned, one is B2E marketing for current and prospective employees, and the other is referral source marketing for current and prospective referral sources or centers of influence. Have a systematic way to communicate to them. What I've seen with hundreds of companies, especially in professional services, is there's typically 1 or 2 rainmakers who know all these people that they call centers of influence. And they talk to them frequently, dinners, lunches, drinks, golfing, whatever. And when business goes down, they make sure they go and talk to them more. And what we bring to the table is we say, let's think about this in a systematic way. And let's get everyone involved with this, knowing that you're still going to have the people that are great at that. You're still going to have the top rainmakers, but let's get other people to support them. And let's get other people to do some of this referral source marketing. And have a systematic way that you do it. Have a way that you map out who you're talking to, how often you're talking to them, what you're saying to them, how you're trying to reach and influence them, tracking what was said, asking open-ended questions, tracking what was said, tracking what they responded to. So you have a systematic marketing approach to referral source marketing. Those are the key points for 2025. So to recap, 2024 was a monumental year that I'm excited about. I wanted to share with you. It's our 20th anniversary. We had a huge celebration. The book No Bullshit Marketing achieved #1 Amazon bestseller status, got a ton of reviews. The team has had incredible operational growth around our process improvements, our intellectual property, our ability in 16 weeks to transform companies and clients. But then the second part of the podcast, I was looking ahead to 2025, and I talked about chapter 17, Into the Future, how to leverage AI, B2E marketing, social media discipline, generational wisdom, and referral source marketing. Feel free to reach out to me at dave@masssolutions.biz. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, also on LinkedIn under Dave Mastovich, encourage you to do that. I'd love to have some conversations. And I want to wish you a fantastic, unbelievable 2025.
Bullshit.